Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, indeedy. So, I am so excited on today because what God has to say on today is very crucial. Very crucial. So, I pray that God's words will come out of my mouth and not my words. That His will be done and not my will. So we're going to get right into it. But first, I know you guys can see my favorite color. I got my favorite print on, which is leopard. This is my favorite print of all time. So if you ever think of getting anything from me, just know if it has leopard in it, you already got it. So leopard is my favorite print. I have on our sweater dress. It's the two-tone, as you guys can see. Everything that I purchased for my Amore Too Classy Boutique will possibly be two-tone, except for this beautiful, because blue you don't have to do nothing with, okay? Because that's my favorite color. So you don't have to do much of nothing with this wonderful blue. We have our jewelry on top. It's silver and it has the silver earrings with the silver necklace. So we have that available. We also have this blue purse. You guys can see the sparkling blue. It goes perfect with this dress. So, yes, I'm sure you guys can see the tags because I took it right out of our storeroom. So, also, we have our lookbooks that you guys, I'm sure, seen me have in my hands on Facebook. But our lookbooks do have that actual dress. So, you guys know that we have this dress actually here available in our store, period. So, I'm going to go beyond the cover. Um, don't forget to also get your journals with your pens. With God, all things are possible. Yes, indeedy. So, you want to get this journal at our store also because, I mean, when God tells you about your identity Himself, your Father, then you already know. And we do have our mugs, our COVID proof mugs. I know y'all have not heard me say this in forever because there's been a lot of transitions going on. But we do have our COVID proof mugs at our store. Um, as you guys can see, this actually goes perfect with this too because it has that blue. So, but this is our two-toned mugs, COVID proof. It comes with a little cleaner thing as well. We still have these also available. So this actually goes with my outfit that I have on today. So that's all done. I showed you guys a purse, which goes perfect with this. We have this in all types of colors. I'm sure you guys always see me in the black, sparkly one. But we have it in silver, gold, all types of colors. And it's only $7.50. So you want to purchase that. And our lookbooks have everything. This actually has the outfit that I showed you guys on the last one. So I'm excited because we're about to get into it. I'm not about to have you wait any longer. Today's topic is understanding your identity and not the opinions of who you are, of not others' opinions of who you are. See, when God gave it to me, I have to remember what He said. I have to hurry up and write it down or type it down like immediately because He gives it to you so fast, and His lingo is just so different from ours. So it's like understanding your identity and not others' opinion of who you are. Understanding your identity in Christ, in God, your Father. But you can't understand your identity unless you have that relationship with your Father. Period. There's no other way but the way. Now, it's got to get deep because what he is saying on today is so many of us is walking around broken, not knowing who we are because we don't know who he is. So until you understand who he is and how he operates, our Father operates, you will not know who you are. You can walk around here and act like you know. You can walk around here and think you know, but you have no idea. I had no idea who I was until I built this relationship with my father. That's the same thing with my biological father. I had no idea who I truly was. I always felt out of place. I always felt different. I'm like, well, they ain't like nobody that I'm around. And the only person I wasn't around was my biological father. So here I am feeling out of place, wondering like, why am I so different? What is wrong? What is going on? And the very person that I'm not around, that I have not built the relationship with, is the very one in whom I'm alike, in whom I found part of my identity. Period. You have to know who you came from in order to know what makes you up. You have to know. But there's no way that you can know if you don't know. And you cannot go by the opinions of what others say or who others say you are. Because others have said a lot of things that is not me, period. It's their opinion. But I am who God says I am, period. And you are who God says you are, but you will never know who God says you are until you build that relationship with God. Right now, you hearing what everybody else say, mama, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, auntie, everybody but God. And God said you need to come to him. He's trying to make you great. They don't even want to see you great. They want to see you down where you are. But God is trying to build you up to become whom he predestined you to be. But you can't become anything if you don't know anything about who you came from, the creator of you. Why are you going to everybody but the creator of you? It makes no sense. There's no way. The universe did not create you, sweetheart. You can keep talking to it and you can keep telling the ancestor didn't create you. Go to the creator of you. Why are you avoiding? Now, partially because I had this issue before I built the relationship with my biological father. I myself had all these thoughts of who I thought he was, and what I thought was true and what wasn't true or whatever. But I didn't get into my true identity until I found out the truth. But what was scaring me from, or the fear that I acted like I wasn't scared or nothing, I just didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to talk to him. I just this and I just that. And God is having me to be real with you guys because I don't know if y'all think I just had this fairy tale life. Like, oh, she must have had her father. I had a wonderful stepfather, but I didn't see my father throughout my life. So my biological father. And the stories I heard about him was not something I would want to hear. So, with that being said, I never knew my true identity until I talked to my father. But it took me until I was 20 years old, 20 years old, to have that relationship with my biological father. Because I had all this anger inside of me, and I was so broken and everything, because I felt abandoned. I felt like he didn't love me. I felt like, he didn't care, or that, he didn't want me or whatever. And God said that I need to tap into that to understand his people and the way they are feeling. You feel like he has abandoned you, but he hasn't. You feel like he don't love you, but he does. You feel all of these feelings, but and that's what's preventing you from talking and dealing with God. But God said you are doing that for no reason, because if you talk to him, you will find comfort in him. You will find peace in him, love in him. He is the father of the fatherless and the motherless. He is the creator of all things. And he truly loves you. And back to my story. I prevented myself for so long from talking to my father because I was already broken. And all the things that I thought of him, I thought he abandoned me. I thought he just left me. I thought he didn't want me. I thought all these horrible things, like, oh my gosh. And then if I talk to him and it's true, oh my goodness, I'm really gonna be hurt. So why would I want to put myself through more hurt when, I'm already hurt. I'm already broken. But until I found my identity, until I had that conversation with my father, I was broken anyways. And I was carrying it on in relationships. I would even say, oh, you're going to leave me like my father. It was coming out of my mouth. So I had to deal with it. You have to talk to the Father. Stop being scared. He is here for you. He loves you. And you will never find that out until you have that one-on-one conversation with him. He did not leave you. He loves you. He is still here for you. And he cares for you. He is the one that's giving you birth right now. He's still giving you a chance. That's just like our children. We don't give up on our children. And he's not like us, honey. Because sometimes we will be like, honey, get out. But God, he's not like that. Now, we can provoke his wrath, just like our children can provoke us. But that does not stop his love for you. You are still here for a purpose. You still have a destiny that you have to reach, that God is trying to get you to reach. But he can't get you to reach if you keep following the opinions of what everybody else says that you are, or who they put you at, instead of where he has you to be. Yes, you do not know who you are until you have that relationship. I did not know who I was. I kept having this bitter, angry, broken. I was this bitter, angry, broken girl, and I didn't even realize it because I thought I was fine. I thought that wasn't nothing wrong with me. I'm good. I don't need my father, my biological father. And, I'm going to live my life. He hasn't been in my life all my life, so that's fine. I don't need him. But I did. In a sense, I did. I needed to have that conversation with my father. I had to, in order to find out who I was, in order to get the truth of who I was, and the truth of who he is, and then to find out what was, the other part of me. And it was so remarkable because I thought in my head what was preventing me from talking to him was me, thinking he didn't love me. I thought my father didn't love me. I thought he just left me. I thought he abandoned me. I thought he didn't want me. I thought he didn't care about me. I thought all types of stuff because of my interpretation of the situation. Oh, well, why would this happen, and why wasn't he in my life then? And if he did love me, then why is this happening, and why is that happening? And this shouldn't have happened to me. If he was there, this wouldn't have never happened, and la di da di da, so on and so forth. So that was all my thoughts in my head, and I know that these are thoughts that may be in your head, preventing you from talking to our Father. But he is saying those thoughts are irrelevant because it has nothing to do with him. That's just your own thoughts of your own interpretation of what you believe is true. But you will never know the truth until you truly have that one-on-one conversation with him and find out the truth. And when he exposed the truth of everything and all the snakes and all the other people that held you back, because you find out that their opinion of who you were and who you are is not who you are. And that they was just trying to keep you down while God was trying to raise you up. But he'll deal with that too, so you won't be angry towards them. Because that was all part of the assignment. Understanding your identity. But getting back to the story, when I finally had the courage to talk to my biological father, and I had a tough conversation. Like, I was real honest about how I felt and everything. Like, why did you leave me? Do you not love me? Why, why you didn't ever come see me? Why this? Why that? I asked all the questions because I wanted to know. I'm like, okay, well, we here now. I might as well let it out. And he told me his honest, of what was really going down. And when you have a child, you start to understand a little bit more. You start to understand things happen. You start to understand, it didn't mean that he didn't love me, because it doesn't mean that my children's father don't love them. It's just we didn't work out. But that has nothing to do with the children. So, my father does love me. So that feeling that I was feeling and all of this, that, oh, he must not love me because he wasn't in my life and he this and he that, and why I go through all this and why is it harder on me, and why my other siblings get to see theirs and I don't get to see mine. And I had all these feelings like, what in the what? Don't nobody want me? Or see, people don't know the true story behind my story, behind the cover. They think that they know, but they have no idea. There's a lot that I can uncover beyond the cover. But we must cover that basic step. We must overcome that fear of talking to our Father. We go through the most. Joseph went through the most. But don't close the chapter. Don't close the book until you read the end. Read the whole story, not part of it, not some of it, not the preacher's interpretation of it, but read the whole story for yourself. Because if you just read that Joseph went to jail, you'd be like, oh man, I ain't reading no more of that. No, read the whole story. Read the whole story so then it can help you find your identity, that okay, Joseph had to go through this. But then God still did what he said he was going to do. God still did what he predestined Joseph to be. David, the same thing with David. David started out, if you just read the part where he was dealing with the sheep and watching over the sheep, you would have never saw that ended up building him up to beat Goliath. Because he knew that God, his father, he knew his father. He found his father through those hard times. You find out your father because that's the only one that's going to have your back. Period. Everybody's going to leave you. Period. And all you're going to have is your father. And that is the time that you will find your true identity. That's when you will start understanding your identity. Oh, things are going to be harder on me because it's not really going against me. It's going against something greater than I am. The I am. But know that the I am has your back. He said, I am that I am, period. So on today, understanding your identity is first understanding your father. Understanding that you must build that relationship with your father. You can build a relationship with everybody else that hurt you, but you got this grudge and you just getting so in your feelings on, oh, I'm not, and I know God's done with me, and I'm just not going to deal with that. I'd just rather this. And don't be like the Israelites. They wanted to go back to being broken. Don't get out of that broke. Don't you want to become whole? The only person that can make you whole and to teach you about who you are is God. Period. Jesus, Yahweh. His mother, he went off and his mother was like, oh my gosh, where's my son? Like any mother would. And she knew, because she was a virgin when she had him, and she knew that this was basically the son of God. But she didn't understand the whole identity of Christ. So our parents may have an inkling of who we are, but they don't know the assignment that God has on us. They don't understand. And the only way we can understand our true identity and our assignment is through God. And we have to be like Yahweh. And even when others do not understand, we must understand our identity. That's why it's important to be one with the one only. Because when, Jesus' mother found him, or Yahweh's mother found him, he said, didn't you know I must be about my father's business? He understood his identity. Understanding your identity is understanding your assignment. Understanding that you are assigned to do God's purpose his way. But you can't understand that if you keep following and listening to the opinions of who others say that you are. You will never know. You will never have that Godfidence, that confidence in God, because you don't know God. You think you know based off of what others' opinion of him is. But you have no idea. Well, why would God, if God loved me, why do I got, you don't know my life, and you don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. But the point of the matter is we are still here after all that we've been through. And it's only through our Father that we are still here. When I look back at all the wrecks that I have been in, all of them, not some of them, not part of them, but all of them. I mean, I was in a Trailblazer. Before that Trailblazer, I was in a Mazda, Mazda Millennia. I had a Mazda Millennia, black Mazda Millennia. And that black Mazda Millennia, all I did was I was driving, I turned to the back, and when I turned, I guess my hand turned the wheel with it. And when I say that the car spent round and round and round, threw us off of the road, up under the road, flipped us, turned us the opposite way of traffic, and everything. Tires busted, everything. Windows busted, everything. And I walked out with not a scratch. Then I was in this Isuzu Trooper. I'm driving to pick up their father, and up under my truck, it's on fire. I didn't even know. I'm like, why are these people blowing their horn at me? My car is on fire, and I didn't even know. I didn't have the slightest clue. Survived that. Then, what was it? Oh, I was in this Buick. Buick Regal. I had a Buick Regal. Used to go to National College, was going back there to get a flash drive to Walmart. Getting out of Walmart, or turning into Walmart from National College. And this lady came flying up that street, smacked my car. She came out of nowhere because there was no cars, but she was flying in this big old SUV, smacked my car. I mean, it dented it all the way into the driver's side, the passenger side into the driver's side, like you was an indentation. The whole roof was dented in, everything. And I survived that without a scratch. Then, didn't end there. Then I have a Trailblazer. I don't know what kind of car the Trailblazer is, but I had a Trailblazer. And thankfully, I didn't have my kids and none of these, except for that one that was on fire, and my son. But Trailblazer, the wheel fell off. I only had it for one day. I'm driving and then it just, and then the wheel just fell off. So as soon as the wheel fell off, it flipped the car over and over 5 times. I'm in a Trailblazer. This is a big SUV. And the SUV is flipping over like 5-6 times. I'm like, oh, this is the end of my life. This is the end of my life. Now, it did mess up my hips, but God was with me. So when I look back at all the stuff I went through, and I see that God was with me the whole time, and I'm still here to this day, when it could have just took me out. And I'm still here. Still. Because of God. And I thank God. I think the signal is going to, okay. I thank God for all that he has done, for allowing me to still be here, and for helping me understand my identity when others thought I was crazy on this journey that I'm on. And I'm here to tell you on today to continue the journey. Continue this journey of understanding your identity. That's the only way that you're going to be able to get to your destiny, is through God, not others' opinion of who they think you are. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you understand how to understand your identity and not others' opinion of you. The only way you are going to be able to find your identity is through God. Period. Your Father. There's no other way to understand it but through him. Period. No other way. So, but the way. Yahweh. God's way. So, he said, acknowledge him in all of your ways and allow him to direct your path. Nobody else, not Shanidra, not your preacher, not nobody, but him. Go beyond the cover. Don't allow that to stop you from that hurt or feeling abandoned by him or feeling rejected by him because you're going through the most. Those are the chosen. Y'all don't know what I've been through. I've been through the most too. But now that I understand my identity, I understand that I am chosen, and this is part of what the chosen go through. But we go through the most and we don't look like what we've been through. That's a blessing. It's a blessing. We didn't go crazy. That is a blessing. Understand your identity. And the only way you can understand it is knowing your Father. Period. Quit talking to the universe. Quit talking to and he created the universe. It just sounds so ridiculous. You can't manifest anything, only God. Like, I don't understand this lingo, and it's not for me to understand. That's between you and God. But understand God, and you will understand your identity. Understand what is right in God and what God will have you to do, and you will understand your identity. You will get to your destiny. So that's all I have for you guys on today. Let's go beyond the cover. Let's dig deep.